Welcome to the Fit Dad Nation podcast, forging strong fathers and raising a stronger generation. It's time to get up or shut up with your host, Steve Roy.
Hey there, guys. Steve Roy here, host of the Fit Dad Nation podcast. Welcome to the show. Thank you so much for listening. Today, I want to talk about how to get into better shape for summer. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to get a six-pack abs. I'm not going to tell you how to get ripped, because if you're out of shape right now, especially considerably, that's not happening. Okay, I'm recording this show in the beginning of May. Summer's just, a month away, and if you've neglected yourself for a long time, no amount of work in this short amount of time is going to suddenly transform your body. But the good news is you can start making some pretty significant progress just by making a few changes, and I want to talk about that today. Before you do, go ahead and head over to fitdadnation.com/community. That's where you can apply to our free private Facebook group called the Fit Dad Base Camp. So you're a dad, you're probably in your 30s or 40s, most of my audience is, and there's probably a fair chance that you're tired of being a lard ass, right? I mean, I've been coaching dads for a very long time. I've been coaching in general for 25 years, I guess, something like that. And I've seen a lot. And it's just what happens as we get older. We have kids, careers, families, everything starts to take precedence over our own health. And yes, we become lard asses and we put on 30, 40, 50 pounds of extra fat, and it becomes extremely difficult to lose it. It becomes very frustrating. We lose confidence. We lose our ability to feel good naked. All these things that are coming from this, it's all negative shit. Okay? And, really, you don't have to live like this. You don't have to. I'm an example. I've gone up and down many times. Right now, I'm kind of in a lull. Getting ready to start something new, which I'll share shortly. But there's absolutely no reason that you need to be considerably overweight for any extended period of time, other than you just don't have your shit together as far as your health and fitness. And maybe it's just not a priority, which is also very common. But I'm going to give you some ideas, some very specific ideas on what you can do starting today that will help you, again, get into better shape for summer, because we all want to be able to go to the beach or pool, take off our shirts, and not look like a fucking beached whale, right? Not look like our stomachs are sticking way out, right? Where we look down and we can't even see our balls, right? That's common. That happens to a lot of dudes. That is not a good feeling. I don't have to tell you that, right? This is obvious, but it's happening. So wouldn't it be nice to be able to go take your shirt off and not feel that way? Maybe you don't feel like, wow, I feel amazing, like I'm ripped and look at all these muscles, right? That can happen, in time, of course, but in the short term, before summer hits or around summertime, there's no reason that you can't shed 5, 10, maybe 15 pounds, depending on, a few things. And that can be a significant difference, and it could be something that makes you start feeling a hell of a lot better about yourself, and that is a massive win. A lot of us walk around with our heads down. I can't tell you how many guys I see with their families trailing behind the wife and kids, head down, kind of shuffling along, no confidence, right? I lived that way for years, and I see it all the time, and it sucks. It's depressing, and it doesn't have to be that way, guys, I promise you. So let's go over some things that can help you, but you have to start now, and you have to be serious about this shit, okay? So number one, find a worthy goal in the short term, right? I'm not talking about your 10-year goals, your 5-year goals, all that other stuff. Just think about the next month. What's important to you? Worthy is a subjective term, right? It could be worthy to you. It might not mean anything to me. Doesn't matter. This is your goal. So maybe you want to look good in your tank top. You want to build your arms out and shoulders out a little bit so you look good in a tank top. Maybe that's very important to you. Okay, that's a worthy goal for you. Okay, so think about it. Give it a little bit of thought and think what would be important to me to accomplish in the next month. Do I want to lose 10 pounds? Do I want to lose 5 pounds? All right. Do I want to be able to bench press 225? Do I want to be able to do 3 pull-ups? Do I want to be able to do 50 push-ups consecutively? Whatever it is, think about it, but pursue it, right? Don't worry about oh my God, I have 55 pounds to lose. I feel like a slob. I'm never going to get stronger. I'm never going to be able to do these things. And if you think those things, you're probably right. So block all that negative shit out and focus on the stuff that you can do in the very short term. Okay? I'll tell you, and I just actually saw this today on Facebook in one of the groups. I posted something. Someone said, I want to start getting into better shape. I'm going to start ramping up my cardio. And my question is, why? Unless you're doing some specific event that requires endurance, right? If your goal is to lose fat and to look better, which is the case for most of us, cardio is not the answer, right? Doing like so this guy is going to go out and he's going to start running, right? He's going to add that. First of all, it's a time suck, right? You got to spend a lot of time doing it. Number two, it fucking sucks. It's boring as hell. Unless you love it, then that's okay. But most of us don't. It's tough on your body, right? Long term, you don't want to be banging up your knees, your hips, your ankles, your feet, all that stuff that comes with running. And plus, it's a waste of time as far as burning calories. You're far better off, bang for your buck, doing some kind of short duration circuit training, some kind of conditioning work where you're getting your heart rate up really fast, you're pushing hard for a very short amount of time, and then resting for a little bit, right? Doing some modified hill sprints, and then focusing on strength training, right? That's the absolute best thing you can do is start building that muscle to burn more fat. So that's the best fat burner out there. There's no pill that's gonna beat having more lean muscle, right? You're gonna be burning more calories at rest with more muscle. That should be your goal. Make that your priority. Stop wasting time jogging on the treadmill for endless hours, especially when you have a short amount of time. And again, today we're just focusing on the next month or so before beach season is here, right? Summer season is here. So, yeah, don't be, if you want to do it in addition to your strength training and conditioning work, sure, you can burn more calories. Yeah, absolutely, nothing wrong with that. Obviously, I don't have to say it too much, but you got to really clean up your eating, okay? Stop eating like an asshole. You don't have to go crazy, but you do have to eat, in a deficit. If you're at a weight where you're not happy and you're not losing weight, which probably means you're eating at maintenance, and if you're gaining weight, you're probably eating a little bit more, so you need to start eating less. The easiest way to eat less is to eat better. Okay, it's really that simple. Replace all those refined carbohydrates and sugars, all the empty calories like breads, pastas, grains, right? All that stuff that has very little nutritional value but has a lot of calories. Get rid of that and replace it with fruits and vegetables. I mean, it's really that easy. So bring your protein up, your fat up, and bring the carbohydrate down. Typically, it's a pretty good ratio of I like to do like 40-40-20, which is 40 protein, 40 fat, 20% carbohydrates. It works extremely well for most men as far as helping you lose fat. Okay, and you can manipulate that a little bit, but that's a pretty good place to start. Make sure you have realistic expectations. Don't go into this a month out and say, I'm going to lose 35 pounds before summer hits. That's not realistic, right? And you're going to be disappointed, and you probably quit and say, fuck Steve, I listened to his podcast, he told me to do this, it didn't work, fuck him, I'm not ever listening to his show again. And I hope that doesn't happen, but it might. So go in with it and say, okay, what can I do? What have I lost? What can I lose 10 pounds? Have I done it in the past ever? Is it possible? And think about it, right? I think any person listening to this show can lose 5 pounds in a month. Okay, that's not anything extreme. Okay, and a lot of guys can lose more, especially if you have more to lose. I've seen bigger transformations. One of my best transformations personally was last year or the year before. I can't remember now, but I lost like 17 pounds in 3 weeks. I'm not saying this was not necessarily healthy for me, but what I did was I just really cut down my carbohydrates, and I was eating super high protein and fat. And I was able to shed quite a bit and still maintain my workouts. It's a bit aggressive for a lot of people, but knowing my body. So, it is possible. It can happen. So if you're a bigger guy, there's no reason you can't lose 10 pounds before summer hits. A couple things that you might not realize make a huge difference is your environment is massive. So if you're in a situation where, like, let's say you go to work and everybody's unhealthy and eating donuts and Panera sandwiches, and they bring in food, and it's just not conducive at all to being healthy. It makes it very difficult. Not impossible, of course, because ultimately it's your decision to eat what you want to eat. But when you're in that environment, it does make it extremely hard. And when we're constantly resisted, this force is always on our ass, like weighing on us, we are going to break, right? Most of us are going to break at some time, and that's not what you want. So you got to find a way to find a better environment. And it just starts with surrounding yourself with the right peeps. I mean, I can't say it enough. Find your tribe, whether it's the Fit Dad Nation. We've got a couple of groups. We've got the Inner Circle, which is our paid private membership program, but we've got the Fit Dad Base Camp, which is our free group. Give it a shot. If it's for you, awesome. If it's not, find your tribe, but get into a group of people that speak your language, have the same values as you, want the same things as you, and are positive and helpful, not negative and shitty like a lot of social media is. If that's, I've been part of hundreds of groups probably, and I've left 95% of them because they just weren't for me. So find yours. Okay? Get help. If you can't, I said this a few times before, and I honestly believe it. If you could do this by yourself, you would have, right? And that's not a knock on anybody. It's just, if you knew how to transform your body, your life, your energy, your eating, your training, you probably would have done it, right? But a lot of us are going through this and like, well, I've heard, 100 different ways to go about this. Should I do keto? Should I go, high fat, low fat? Should I go do intermittent fasting? Should I do whatever XYZ diet supplement program pill that's out there being pitched, right? It's extremely overwhelming and confusing, and there's no right answer, right? I've talked about this before. It's a very personal thing, and you've got to find what works for you, and sometimes there's a process behind that, but finding a coach that actually cares about you is the key, right? So there are a lot of good trainers, good coaches that know their shit. They can write a program like nobody's business. They know nutrition inside and out, but they're just trying to sell you something. For me, yes, I sell coaching, I sell programs, I sell, this is how I make a living. And so do countless other trainers and coaches out there. And I'm not going to name any names, but there are a lot of people that I've come across that it's pretty clear that their really main focus is just driving sales and making money. It's not connecting with you personally, finding out what you need, and then, what you need, and then giving it to you, right? They shove you into a program and say, this is it, and you never hear from them again. You pay them the money, and to me, that's not successful coaching. So find a coach, get some help, and get accountable. Like, I guess this goes back to a group. Get accountable to somebody that cares about your success, right? Someone that has some kind of interest, right? Because most of us could care less about the guy next to us, right? We don't really care if they lose weight, right? I mean, you care about yourself. You want to lose weight. You're not really that interested with John, and that's understandable. But when you become part of a tribe, something bigger than yourself, and you start sharing things and learning things and realizing, oh man, this guy's going through the same shit, and you start to develop relationships, then that's when the accountability starts to happen, because you want that person to succeed, right? And just like they want you to succeed, which is what we do in our groups in the Inner Circle. So that's what makes it so important. So find that piece of it, okay? A couple more things you're going to have to do, right? You're going to have to be insanely consistent between now and summertime. Every day. There's no days off, right? You're not going to overtrain unless you're doing 2+ hours a day of heavy training. An hour is plenty, but I want you to move as much as possible, walking, biking, swimming, whatever it is, and I want you to strength train 3-4 days a week, conditioning every single day. Okay, some kind of conditioning work. You're not going to overtrain that way, but I want you to train every single day. You're going to have to work harder, okay? Obviously, we want to work smarter, but you're going to have to work harder than you are now, which may not be very hard at all, but if you are working hard and you are, or you think you're working hard and you're exercising, but you're not really getting anywhere, you need to put a little more into it, right? Intensity is important when it comes to this. So you're going to have to step up your game and work harder. And you're going to have to get uncomfortable, to be honest with you. Making a change to your lifestyle, which ultimately makes a change to your body, is not an easy thing. And your body and your mind want to stay right in the comfortable zone, right? We want to stay there. We're going to do everything we can to protect that. And when we start making some changes, everything in our system say, no. Let's go back to doing it the easy way. Come on, this is what we know. This is what we like. This is comfortable. That does not work. You cannot make progress that way, which is why the stats of obesity are 40% in the United States or something like that. It's crazy because we want what we want. We don't want to work for it. We want to have everything hand delivered and spoon fed to us, and it's not working. Okay. If you want to stay there, by all means, be a statistic, but that's not how you have to live, and it's a shitty way to live. It honestly is, and if you're listening to this, you don't have to live that way. So the last thing I want to share is, given this, and I've been thinking about this for a little while, and like I said, I don't have a solution for you. I'm not going to say you can get ripped in the next 30 days before summer hits. It's just ridiculous, right? It's not realistic. But given the things that I just told you, I've got something that will help you if you are committed. We ran this challenge last year. It was actually about 13 months ago. And it kind of came up as a joke. I put something out on Facebook talking about guys being fat asses, and believe it or not, a bunch of guys really responded to it like, you know what, that's me, I'm a fat ass. So I put together a challenge called Operation Fat Ass, which we're going to start again. So we're going to start this May 9th. So that gives you a couple days to listen to the show and reach out to me. I don't have a link for you just yet, but I'm going to be posting about it on social and Facebook, so keep an eye out there. But it's going to run for 40 days. A 40-day challenge is going to put you off in the middle of June, which is, as things start to turn. It's going to be, summer's going to be in full effect by then. 40 days, not a long time, but it is enough time, I promise you, to make significant progress. You are going to be in better shape. I'm not going to say that you're going to be jacked, but you will if you follow the program. Again, this challenge is designed to set everything up for you. The program is laid out for you, the diet piece of it, the accountability piece, the coaching, all of that is included in this. It's going to be $97 to join, which is, drop in the hat. I mean, it's nothing. But I want to bring as many guys as I can, many dads as I can into this, because I want you to feel good about yourself when you take your shirt off. I want you to have a better summer from that perspective of, hey, I don't feel like a fat ass. I feel like, hey, I can do this, right? And that's really what it's about. So keep your eyes out, guys, for the Operation Fat Ass. Again, follow me on Instagram at the Fit Dad Nation, and then obviously Facebook, Fit Dad Nation. And I encourage you, because I do most of my stuff inside the private groups. I just find that it's a lot easier to have conversations in there, and Facebook doesn't tend to block as many of my posts for whatever reason. So Fit Dad Basecamp, again, it's fitdadnation.com/community is where you can apply to that group. But yeah, May 9th, Operation Fat Ass 40-day challenge. All the things I talked about today, if that sounds like, oh shit, I need to do that, I want to do that, get a hold of me, find me on social, hit me up via email, steve@fitdadnation.com, and I hope to see you there.
Thanks for joining us. And remember, if you want more information, check out the Fit Dad Basecamp group on Facebook. And don't forget to stop by fitdadnation.com. Until next time, keep kicking ass and taking the next step. You can do this, Dad.